Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back.
Don't be afraid to give it your all. I mean, I always quote The Rock. He always says, be the hardest working one in the room. And there's always somebody out there who's willing to do that. So if you really want to compete and, expose yourself and be successful in the industry, you got to do that to some effect. I really try to push guys to, learn as much as you can. I mean, you can do it and, make it fun.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Turf Today, presented by Toro. Count on it. My name is Adam Kershane, and I am one of your hosts, joined by none other than Brian Laurent. We bring you another episode today, number 70, which features Justin DePippo, the Director of Grounds and Golf Course at the Bel Air Country Club. Great conversation. It's really good to get him on and talk about some of the stuff he's done in his career, how he's moved up and into a very prestigious role right now, and being able to manage that crew and have a lot of fun. And as we get into in the episode, man, what a great guy to work for, and what a great culture he has at his course. So there's a lot of great stuff to take from this interview and this episode. We're getting to that time of year again. We talked about it last year. Our golf course is something that never sleeps. It just continues to go, and it's a hard, long season, and everybody knows how hard we work. And it can be a very difficult industry. It can be a grind. It can be a lot of fun, but at the same time, there is a need for a break and a pause every once in a while. So, as much as you guys have worked throughout this season, and as things are definitely not going to stop, but try and find the time to take to yourself, to your family, get away from the golf course if you can, find that mental break, because you need it. You need to be able to miss your job, miss your golf course, and get remotivated and re-inspired so you can come back stronger and really dig yourself in. And we've actually been contacted by a few people. We're right now planning for the show and reaching out to people about if they're going or not. And, we had a poll on Instagram the other day about people going, and it's great to hear that a lot of people are going, but it sucks to hear that some people can't go because of their golf course not supporting that. And that's unfortunate. This is, from somebody who's gone twice, it is such an amazing week. It's such an inspiring week, and you can learn so much and meet so many great people. There's a lot of different things to do down there, all the classes, all the networking, all the different nights out and drinks and things like that. So I really encourage people to really push their golf courses and push their general managers. The golf courses spend a ton of money. So to be able to spend a little bit to get their leaders down there, maybe not just a superintendent, but maybe an assistant or somebody in a big role, somebody who hasn't been to one of these before, because I can tell you, it's great to get a little bit of time off. It's great to spend time around people who can motivate you and who you can learn from and who you can share this with, and then be able to be motivated to go back to your own golf course and apply some of these things or use some of the products that you've learned about. And it's all great stuff. So the amount of money you spend throughout the year trying to get that golf course to a certain spot, take care of your people and know that this is an important time for them. And if you can get to a local show, great. If you can get to the big show in San Diego that they're going to have at the end of January, really work towards it. And this is the time of year to plan that stuff, whether it's hotels or classes or flights. Get on that stuff early, because it sneaks up on you and it all gets booked up, and it's tough to go. So plan that stuff early. Try and get your golf course to help you out. You definitely have a lot of support in the industry. If there's anything that we can do here at Turf Today or the Superintendent Network, please let us know. I wanted to pass something on, something that was shared with me the other day, and I've asked and I still haven't gotten an answer of where this came from or who wrote this, and I really hope we do find it out, and maybe by putting it out there, somebody else knows. So please get back to us and let us know where this comes from, because this is beautiful. This is the cart path of life. In the stillness of the early morning, a golf course superintendent's cart becomes more than just a vehicle. It transforms into a symbol of stewardship and resilience. Scattered across the bed are well-worn tools, shovels caked with soil, faded cart path only signs, and remnants of equipment that have seen countless sunrises. Each item tells a story, representing years of dedication to the land and to the greens that offer solace and beauty to many. These signs, marked cart path only, are a quiet reminder of boundaries, of limits set not to restrict, but to protect. They echo the superintendent's task of balancing nature's unpredictability with human enjoyment. Much like in life, The path is sometimes restricted, guiding us to tread lightly where the ground is fragile, where rushing forward might leave deeper scars than we realize. In the back of the cart, time itself seems to settle. The rusting edges of the tools are not signs of decay, but of purpose fulfilled. Every stroke of the shovel, every time a sign is hammered into the earth, serves a greater good, preserving what is delicate and temperamental. The cart isn't just a carrier of tools, it's the keeper of the course's history and the vehicle of its future. In many ways, the cart mirrors the superintendent's journey. Each day brings new challenges. An unruly patch of grass, an unexpected storm, a stubborn section of fairway. But like the course itself, life requires constant tending. It is in this daily ritual, in the steady maintenance, that the beauty is allowed to flourish. The superintendent's work, unseen by most, yet felt by all who walk the greens, is a reminder that the invisible hands behind the scenes are often the ones holding everything together. And so, with every ride in the cart, we see the bend and toil of transcendence, the quiet meditation of a life spent cultivating both land and soul. Turf Today is proudly sponsored by Toro. And do you want to know something else that's sponsored by Toro? That is the GCSAA Golf Championships that are going on early 2025. And it's happening at Torrey Pines right before the American Show. Definitely sign up for one of the events or all of the events. This is one of the most world-class things I have ever been a part of. One of the most beautiful golf courses in the world. So why not? It's going to be a spectacular week. Everybody you know in the industry is going to be there. And who knows? Maybe you'll get to see us too.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
I'm okay. Hanging on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Long day at the course today, and we at the Crochet household right now are under the weather. So
Oh, no. Did you get hit with the bug?
yeah. Well, we just got really bad colds right now. I think it's the changing of the seasons. My son was sick first, and then my wife got sick, and I've been holding on, but I woke up this morning and I was like, oh no.
Oh, great day to go out and airify, huh? When you're feeling a little under the weather.
Yeah. But sometimes just working hard, working through, it's always good. We had
Yeah, sweat it out.
Yeah, we had 5 guys. We got 9 holes aerated, cleaned up, and top dressed and brushed and holes back in place. I didn't think we'd get that far.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, so, we'll do the other 9 holes tomorrow and then probably go back on Friday with a little more sand and the roller and do what we can. But I mean, with 5 guys, we're just kind of getting through right now.
Sure. Do what you can. That's all right. Good.
Yeah, we had a bit of a
So-
funny one too yesterday. We did the practice green. Our practice green is probably the biggest green in North America. It's massive. It's so big. It has its own garden. There's a garden in the middle of the green.
Thought you were going to say it has its own zip code.
It's massive. You could probably have like 24, 30 different holes out there, and we have 6, so it's spread out.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah, no, it's so we were doing the practice green yesterday and pitch black. Like the guy's got a little light on the front of the aerator. We all have like our headlights on and stuff. And so we go back to the shop after and the guy's like, well, I need a better light. Like we're gonna have to get a light. If we're gonna do this 2 days strong, we need a better light. So Super goes out and gets this nice light that you can magnet right to the front of the Procore. And so we go out. I think he did the first 2 greens in the dark and we're following him. And we get to the 3rd green we're on. I go to one of the sides of the greens where the pile of cores are, and the flashlight's in 1,000 pieces.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
And the mechanic yesterday said, I hope he doesn't drop that thing and aerate over it.
Oh, no. Whoops.
Oh man, but it was one of those things too. It just brought everybody together. Everybody thought it was funny. It was the mechanic came flying out as soon as he saw the picture come in on the phone. He came out to chirp and
He called it.
Oh.
He called it.
Yeah, well, he called it. Oh yeah, he was making sure everybody knew that. But yeah, it was fun. It's good to have those things and not have somebody blow up and get all upset. And now the day's ruined. It's just
Yeah,
laugh
right.
about it and
Just
move on.
roll with the punches, man.
Like stuff's gonna break. We know that.
Yeah, absolutely. It happens. We had one this morning driving around. Guy slid down. He was mowing walk paths. The mower just slid down the hill. It was, it's a wet morning, dew still kind of on the ground, and just got away from him. And he took a little triplex on a walking bridge. And so we had 4 or 5 of us just pushing it off the bridge, getting back up on solid ground so I could keep on trucking. Yeah.
Oh man. Always
Good way to start
something,
the
eh?
day. That's it. That's it. It's always entertainment. It's what makes this industry great. Every day something different, good, bad, or ugly.
Yeah, you don't know what you're getting yourself into when you show up at the shop, that's for sure.
No, no, that's
So you're in
it.
a hotel right now.
Traveling in Philadelphia right now. So doing a little project with the Philadelphia Association, and then also here for the Super Scratch Foundation, which is a new foundation raising money for turfgrass scholarships. It's a really cool event. It was actually started by a member at a club here in Philly. They were talking about some sort of amateur events, and so they decided they were going to pair up a scratch amateur from a club, play with their superintendent, and they're going to play to raise money for turf scholarships. So it's
That's awesome.
just in yeah, dude, it's unreal. So in 3 years, they've given away six figures in just 3 years. This year alone, I think they're going to raise close to $200,000.
Nice.
So
Nice.
it's really just taking off. And, I had this conversation with Scott Bordner, who's one of the board members with the foundation. Um, you know, Within the industry, we tend to just hit up our typical sponsors for money, your local distributors and manufacturers and all that kind of stuff. But here it's the clubs and the club members that are really supporting this. Obviously, there's industry sponsors and all that kind of stuff as well, but they're really raising a lot of money just from members. They've got clubs that have added money to their handicap fees, and $10 per player or something coming into the foundation. So they're getting creative in how they're raising money to help solve a big problem in this industry, which is labor. So it's really cool. I'm excited to be here, and the event kind of all kicks off today. There's a small scramble with some sponsors that are paired up with superintendents. Then tonight there's a reception. Darren Bavard's speaking from the USGA. He's going to speak at the reception tonight. And then tomorrow's the main outing at Huntington Valley here in Philly. So I think, I can't remember what he said, 40 teams, I think,
Okay.
tomorrow. So 80 players. Um, so yeah, it's gonna be a fun day. I'm excited to zip around there. I'll have the camera out, do some interviews, and just
Beautiful.
kind of tell the story about the foundation, because it really is something that's very unique and is really growing. I mean, they're talking about expansion next year, some really cool things in the works. So yeah, yeah, Philly till tomorrow. So been
That's
here since
awesome.
Sunday. Get home on tomorrow night, Thursday night.
I like how it's kind of bleeding into different areas of golf. There's other
Yeah,
people, members at courses, people that are involved with the industry that want to, that want to help. They want to get more jobs. They want to get more people working. Our golf courses are never going to get any better or are not going to be
yeah,
maintained properly if we don't have the right people doing it. So taking care
that's
of
it.
people from the other end, that's fantastic. Really
Yeah,
happy to
and
hear that.
there's we've been having this conversation for the last few days out here. It's every club has some sort of caddy scholarships, Evan
Mhm.
scholars and all that, and there's a lot of support for caddies, and that's raising money. And obviously, it's a great thing. It's a great reward for caddies to be able to spend their time working on the course and get some help, education to further themselves, whatever career it is. But there's really not much out there to raise money to keep people in golf. And so, this core group of members here saw a need, and they're doing something about it. So
Awesome.
it's really cool to see people from outside the industry recognize the importance of superintendents and the importance of helping people find this career path. So yeah, it's a really, really neat organization. And again, I've heard about it for the last couple of years. Um, but I'm just happy to be part of it and see it all in person. And so far, it's been a great week.
It'd be great to see that expand, go to different states and maybe even different countries. It'd be
Well,
something that could really
yeah,
take off.
yeah, really could. And the USGA is behind it. And so obviously that carries a lot of weight right there, and
Hmm.
obviously will help get it in front of just regular people, which is the goal. If every club was doing something where couple bucks, a year from each member that has a gin handicap or something, and that money comes in to help support student scholarships. I mean, gosh, the good you can do with that
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
be
And it's just the
phenomenal.
the awareness too, right? People talking about it and sharing about it. Everybody loves the golf course, so why not have more awareness about, our industry and what we're trying to do?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
There we go.
There he
Hey.
is.
I was really clicking that for 30 seconds. Going
Getting
on.
technology to work. How are you, man?
Good, yourself?
Doing great. Appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, man. Where is Penny not joining us right away? You're gonna bring her in later? What's going on?
She's right over here. She's chowing down lunch right now, so
Oh yeah, about that
Yeah.
time.
she'll jump up. We'll get her a little video time.
Did you get a nice workout in this morning already?
Yeah, it was a scramble today. It's been a busy morning, so she was.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Right into the mix, eh? Jeez, the morning scrambles.
yeah. We bumped. We got earlier tea times now. The past couple of weeks, we just opened the clubhouse, and we're still trying to figure out how to get ahead of everybody.
You guys are done with the clubhouse, huh? The project's finally put to bed.
Phase one is done, so we still got another 6 months. So the building's open, but not done. So we're getting there.
How much fun has that project been, Justin?
Oh, it's been a lot. I mean, fun in ways. I don't know if fun would be the first word I would choose to describe it, but no, it's we've had a crazy couple of years with the weather and the rain, and the site the building sits on is pretty unique, and just it's logistical challenges, and we've had permitting issues, and just one thing after another. But we've gotten over the big hurdle of getting it open. So
you're kind of putting all your hands in all the different buckets, eh?
You could have said it perfectly. We had our first green committee meeting with our new group a couple weeks ago, and that was like the main topic was just my new chairman was just mind blown at how much we do that doesn't have to do with the golf course. I'm sure everybody feels that way, but
you're the jack of all trades. You get called into everything, man.
Yeah, it's a good thing at the end of the day, right? It keeps you involved in everything. You can have your hands on stuff, so things can go the way you'd like to see them go. But at times when has nothing to do with the golf course, you can get sidetracked. But good and bad. But it's makes it fun too, right? I mean, it's the extra challenge, new stuff, and I'm trying to think what's a good example of something that, like building water fountains, right? I don't know, like something I've been dealing with lately that I never thought I'd have to deal with, but yeah.
Where are you building a water fountain out there?
We have a big fountain right in front of the new clubhouse.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We had some great historical photos that show it up front, and we tried to, bring the new clubhouse to make it look like the original one as much as we could, and there was a fountain up front. So I'm like the fountain guy now. So
that's the thing, right? You do one little project, and then all of a sudden now you're the expert, so you get called in for everything.
100%. Nobody was there was like, hey, by the way, like you're going to be figuring out these fountain things. It was just like you get the call to get water to the fountain and then power, and then now you're the fountain guy.
I'm the guy.
Yeah.
So Justin, for those out there that aren't familiar with you, go ahead and just introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Justin DePippo. I'm the superintendent at Bel Air Country Club. Been here 7 years, I think, around there. Been on the West Coast now a little over 10 years. Before that, I was at LACC. Before that, Ronamick Golf Club back outside Philadelphia. So before that, back east, worked outside Philadelphia, Ronamick, Kennett Country Club, Hartfeld National, just Philly clubs. Went to Penn State for turf, but yeah, been out west 10 years now, and it's hard to believe that over 10 years I'm starting to feel more like a local than I refer to myself as an East Coaster, right? Or back home, but like you start hitting over 10 years, you're like, it's been that long, it just goes quick. So
I'm going to see a bunch of your old stomping ground fellas here. I'm in Philly right now for the Super Scratch. So Darren's actually speaking at the reception tonight, and
awesome,
hanging out with Bordner and all those fellas. So Yeah,
Nice.
good times. Good times.
I'd love to make it back for that one of these years. I talked to Bordner about trying to, you know, get some West Coast action in there.
Yeah.
No,
He
that's great.
said you're on his short list, that's for sure. So
There you go.
get ready for the invitation next year.
I'll be ready.
Good, good.
Nice. Who you playing with?
I'm not playing. I'm just covering.
Oh, okay. Covering. Okay, cool.
Yeah, just doing did some work with the Philly chapter for some other projects, trying to help get people involved in the industry, and then just the visit happened to coincide with the Super Scratch. So
Cool.
gonna hang around, do the reception tonight, and do a bunch of glad handing tomorrow. See a lot of
Nice.
people. Can't wait. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's good times.
So I got to ask you, does that make you an Eagles fan, Justin? Being from
Go
Philly?
Birds.
Go
Go
Birds.
Birds.
There you go. So, been a lot of Eagles talk on this podcast, so it's good to have another fan.
Yeah,
That's a hell of a city for major sports, right? You guys have all the same. They're all in one parking lot, right? There's the link where the Flyers play, the Phillies play, all right there.
for sure. I mean, it's been forever. I actually I'm trying to get tickets now. I'll be back in December for Eagles Carolina. Just booked my flight, so now I'll book my Eagles tickets. That was
Nice.
step
There you
one
go.
was book flights home. Two was Eagles tickets. So, but yeah, now out here everything's spread out. It's so different. I mean, we got new stadiums left and right. I mean, we had both the Clippers and Lakers playing in the same stadium. Now you got Chargers and Rams in the same stadium. I mean, it's like the opposite. Yeah.
Well, now you guys are in the Big Ten out there. Did you go to the USC Penn State game the other day?
I was there. That was awesome.
Yeah, it's a hell of a finish.
First half wasn't looking so great, but no, what a finish. No, it was awesome.
Yeah. So the property you're at, Bel Air, is pretty special and extremely unique. Talk a little bit about the property and maybe some of the challenges, because there's, again, that terrain out there is pretty special. Tell us a little bit about it.
The best way I put it is what makes this place special is also what makes it very difficult. And it's the terrain, the logistics of getting around these. We sit in the foothills of Bel Air, so we wind our way through these canyons that are extremely tight. If anything had been 40 yards wider or 40 yards smaller, it wouldn't have fit so well. It just wouldn't have flown moved through the property. And somehow these tunnels fit in perfectly. So we have 4 tunnels that are made to the size of a golf cart. Well, actually a golf cart was made to the size of the tunnels. This is the right way to put it. And then we have the swinging cable bridge on 10 that, you tee off over a canyon and then you walk across the bridge and suspended bridge and get to the 10th green. So, I mean, just those little highlights there, just kind of explain just how you got to get around here, make it fit in your way through tunnels, using a bridge. So you could just think any large equipment, fairway mowers, utility vehicles, rough mowers, anything bigger than a golf cart, you're either backtracking in and out of a canyon or, we just had a new intern start the other day and I said, look, the long way getting around here is usually the right way to get around here. You can take the shortcuts everywhere and cut across, but no, it's special. I mean, just the views, the vistas, the elevation change. I mean, it's just all part of it. And it makes it super unique. The fact, 1925 or 1926 when the course opened, the fact that you could lay something out so well without drones and, modern equipment, it's just, it's pretty special. So it's really golden age architecture at its finest.
Yeah, I've never been as nervous as I was driving around and through those tunnels. How many carts do you get banged up every year driving through those tunnels?
We keep our golf cart fleet is 4-year max and it's tapped out by 4 years. I mean, it's just we lease because by the end of 4 years, the tunnels need to get repainted probably 3 times a year. And
Oh man,
the carts can barely make it 4 years. I mean, just usually there's somebody playing bumper cars or, just clipping the sides the whole way down. So yeah, that it's just part of it,
keeps the guys honest though. They got to be smart out there.
Yeah, luckily we're a predominantly walking course. I can't imagine if every group out here was 2 carts. I mean, I'd probably be towing a cart in at least once a day. So, these
No question.
things break easily these days, right? Like everything.
Yeah.
So, we've got a custom trailer actually that will lift a cart up onto and pull it out of the tunnel. Your towing capabilities and fixing capabilities are pretty limited when the tunnel's 53 inches wide or 56 inches wide, whatever it is. So
Wild. Well, talk to us a little bit about your crew. You guys have a big staff there. You guys do a lot of different things, or does it slow down a little bit in the winter for you?
we've got 36, and outside of 4 seasonal interns, which we do fill in the summer and winter, everybody's full time. So big team, very tenured crew. I mean, our average tenure is like 18 or 19 years now.
Wow.
Which is really, really cool. We've got 4 or 5 guys that are 40 plus years, and then, more than half are that 20, 30-year range. So it's cool. It's nice to be a part of, and, not having constant turnover. A lot of guys are well versed and trained and can move around into different jobs. But the winters slow down a little bit. Days get short, right? It cools off, but we're still steady with golf. I mean, that tee sheet just crams in. It's full from 7:30 to 2:30. And then even the evenings, it's just the guys that want to come out and play 9. So we stay busy up till dark. We actually have 2 large spotlights on that bridge from the 10th hole, which are above the 18th green looking down, and that really buys you an extra 15, 20 minutes of golf. I mean, guys can still see, hitting their shots up 18, and, they're out here till dark every day. So no, we slow down a little bit, but it's still busy. We stay busy, and with the full-time staff, right, we're rifling through vacations, and, you get through your summer and all your events and member tournaments and stuff. And then, I try to let all the guys use up vacation through the winter months and play catch up and, kind of prep for next year.
So you mentioned the tenured staff. Obviously, the cost of living in LA is not exactly the cheapest in the country. How are you able to keep those guys around? And I've got to imagine it's a haul for them to get there, right? I mean, they're not living local.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the only way around it is a lot of these guys commute in. It's nice with golf course work starting pretty early in the morning. So, I'd probably start earlier every day. If we were fully electric capabilities, which we're slowly working towards. But, being a 5:30, 6 o'clock start every day, these guys can get up, beat traffic, get here. And, if you're leaving by 2:30 every day, they're beating traffic, getting out of here. So that's really where, we can make up for that. So not too many people live close. I mean, it's like, the affordability of housing out here it's a little crazy. But that helps work around that. And then, the club, takes care of the team pretty well. You got to stay competitive. We're competing with, obviously other clubs, but, any sort of outdoor work, right? Contractors and construction. And so just, we're always trying to stay competitive and keep raising that bar, and it does really help having a really tenured team. So when somebody new does come on, they're learning the ropes from a strong team, strong group. We don't have a large group of, newbies or something, right? So you kind of get sucked into that culture and vibe right away, which I think really helps. It gets people started on the right foot, and they see that's how we operate as a whole.
What was that like for you coming into being the superintendent of Bel Air, having such a tenured staff, people that have been there for so long and used to the same things? And how were you able to kind of break in and become the leader and, run that whole show?
That was definitely something I had to think about and consider when taking the job. And especially, I was on the younger side too. So adding to that, right, you got a lot of older veteran individuals who've been doing things a certain way a long time. And, you could very easily just come in as the, young buck and kind of trying to change everything or stepping on toes a little too much. There's definitely a balance there. Yeah. I'm trying to think the best way how I got through it. I mean, look, I thought of it constantly of how can I, get these guys on board making a shift, right? There's always a shift, new superintendent or new course, and really tried to do it in the most respectful way possible and really try to make it, instead of me telling or making people do things, it's like, hey, how about we try it this way? Or how do you guys feel about this? Like make them a part of the decision or a part of the change. And yeah, I mean, probably half the things they talked me into doing differently, than the way I wanted. It was a, back and forth thing. And they got on board with the stuff that I really wanted to do that, either put out a better product or something, or was more efficient way. And then at the same time, they were like, no, yeah, actually, we've done it this way here, and this is why, and this is best. And, they proved me otherwise. So I would just say making it like a team effort and not just me directing, right? Just let them be part of the solution and, fixing the problem.
So how much of that came from some of the mentors that you had growing up? I mean, you mentioned some of the places where you had worked. Did you really rely on some of the lessons learned from those guys in order to implement that at Bel Air?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, right before coming here, I was at LA and, 36 holes, really big team. And, it was like 70, 75 people. So, and same thing, they had a pretty good long tenured staff there. So I had gotten to see that, it's different than back east with the, that amount of full-time staff, right? I mean, people aren't leaving for the season or coming back or deciding to, jump ship because they've found something different, or maybe they, weren't from the US and they went back home for a couple months. Like there's always like a little turnover, right? With the seasonal, large seasonal staff, or, just courses in the Midwest back east versus out here where it just doesn't stop. So you got all these full-time guys. So there's definitely just like a continued continuity. And, I think going through that, or actually seeing both sides of that, right? I got to see where back east that staff turnover and having to bring new people on every year, every spring, and take advantage of, the guys that did come back or did stay on through the winter. And, then coming to LA and then having the such a large full-time staff, that was a change. Like wasn't used to that. But you like want to keep it going, right? If you got it, and, rely on the ones that you can rely on the most, and, use them to, their value, like really just help them with training and spreading out your top guys and getting everybody on board together.
It's a real new school way of doing things, right? Kind of as a team. You see that a lot more in pro sports and in life now. It's all about the team, right? So you guys got to work together.
For sure, right? I mean, I'm sure back in the day things were a lot more cutthroat, right? Like if you didn't pull your weight, like you're out, right? Like it was simple. It was school of hard knocks, right? I mean, how many times you heard that? And,
yeah.
It just doesn't really work as much this day and age. People don't respond to it. It definitely, back then, I guess, when it was easier to hire people, or, people, it was just an easier way of doing it. But now it just definitely takes a little more hands-on, a little more training, and making it a team effort, and making people a part of it, which, there's probably a lot of benefits there that you don't see right at first. Like, now you're delegating more, you're empowering people more. Assistant superintendents these days, I'm sure it's drastically different than how it was 10, 20, 30 years ago, right? I mean, the assistants here are full-time managers, right? They're not cutting cups, watering greens, or spraying greens every day, right? I mean, they're out there managing with me, helping train and move people around, and plan the day and start thinking about the next day, the next week. And
how is the golf industry, golf community different in LA than anywhere else you've been before?
LA look, I think traffic affects everything out here, right? It's such a big spread out city. Like you can't, even like the chapter meetings or association meetings, right? You're not like, oh, let me shoot over 30 miles real quick, right? I'll be there in 30 minutes. I can do the morning meeting and play golf and get home. Like it's
30 minutes for 2 miles.
Yeah. Right. Everything's so like bubble focus. Sorry. Let me see if I can show.
Yeah, good.
My email is just blowing.
Popular guy.
Yeah. Too many emails. It's not a good thing.
Guy's looking for fountains to get installed, eh?
I don't know how to mute your email. So, sorry.
No, it's fine.
Right. What'd you say? Sorry. Let me jump back in here.
No, we were just talking about how golf in LA and just the industry in general is a little different.
It's like it's more, it like feels more spread out, right? I mean, it's just like it's harder to get around. You plan everything in your bubble, and with things being such a long commute, I mean, if you try to do just meeting up for lunch, it's like harder to do. I mean, it's you kind of just stay in your bubble. So, you kind of, you got your pocket and, your couple local guys that you maybe see a little more regularly, but, it just, that, the traffic and how big and spread out the city is, and there's not a whole lot of golf in the city. I mean, there's, handful of clubs. But yeah, sorry. Can you hear that in the background right there?
That's all right.
You guys are having fun.
Sorry,
That's awesome.
That's a happy birthday right there.
Oh, nice.
Anytime it's somebody's birthday, the whole crew, 36 guys are singing, hooting, hollering, and we do a cake, kind of just, break it up a little bit, put everybody on the spot for a day. So
Heck yeah.
That's great.
That's awesome. So does the traffic and everything, does that cause logistical challenges for, deliveries, equipment deliveries, chemical deliveries, all that kind of stuff? Is it a hassle?
All the time. Yeah. You could have a delivery here. Some of these drivers will want to get out early and they'll be here an hour early. They'll be here at 4:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, or they're 2 hours delayed because there's an accident on the 10 or something. I mean, it's just, you never know. Even with the staff, if there's an early accident on the 405 or the 10 or something, right? Next thing you know, my phone's blowing up and there's like 6 guys. Hey, I'm stuck, well, I'm not moving. And yeah, it's just like part of it. I'm used to it now. You just know that it's happened. And once you've done it enough times, right, you kind of know what that plan B, plan C looks like. And you're ready to go. But yes, like sod deliveries, so you got stuff coming out from the desert and fertilizer deliveries. I mean, every delivery here takes a little extra work for sure. I've definitely said that a few times.
Well, I gotta ask. We're talking about LA right now and a prestigious country club. So there's got to be some movie stars or some athletes or somebody coming out there.
Yeah, no, we get our fair share of the entertainment scene. I mean, it's LA, like you said, so there's a good bit of who's who bopping around, and whether it's members or guests, there's somebody out here every day that you'd recognize or see, but.
That's kind of wild. Just driving around, just not knowing who you're going to see that day. And oh, wow.
Love the new movie. It's funny. You don't realize it as much because whoever it is, you might recognize on TV or something, right? And then golf clothes, golf attire, you got your hat down. I mean, you just don't even realize it, right? You'll just, and when you're out here, right, you're kind of in the grind sometimes. Your head's in the zone. You're just like not even paying attention. And, you don't even realize it till later. Somebody, oh, hey, did you see blah, blah, blah? I'm like, oh, no, I didn't even realize it. But yeah, no, there's a good bit of that out there.
You're a celebrity in your own right, though, out there. I mean, you, Mr. 30 under 30, right? Tell us about that.
Feels like a while ago now. No, that was cool. I really just wasn't expecting that. I was shocked, really, that me to end up in that magazine, right, or pick for that. And but it was cool, right? I mean, shining a light on our industry. I mean, I was I was at my kids had his school's parents dinner last night, and meeting all these other dads, and they're the one guy's like, wait, so what do? You're you studied agronomy, you're at a golf course. And the one dad just like in front of everybody, he's like, this is awesome. Like, he's like, all I meet are financial advisors and lawyers and blah blah blah. And he's like, you're the only agronomist at this party. I was like, yeah, probably, yeah. It's like,
no, I can't help you with your lawn.
Yes, yeah, it actually always leads into golf, right? Like, hey, when can we play golf?
Yeah.
But no, the Forbes thing was cool. I mean, just I think the coolest part was just shining light on like what we do at as superintendent, right? Is in the sports section with, Olympic athletes, right? I mean, it's like crazy to think about, but cool to see. And, that I think you see a lot more of it just in general the past couple of years of people really appreciating what we do, what goes into it. People love golf. There's definitely, I mean, golf junkies, diehards, right? I mean, and just people get pretty into it, which it's cool, that people are that supportive and, enjoy seeing it. And I mean, it's, like what you guys are doing right now, a little behind the scenes, shedding some light on stuff, and, people enjoy it. They want to see it. They want to hear about it. A lot of what we do is before anybody's up and out in the dark, right? So, being able to shed a little extra light there and let people see what goes into it, I think is cool.
You might be the only person I think that's had that kind of recognition, right? I can't think of anyone else.
Not that one specifically, but there's definitely, there's plenty of bigger hitters out there than me.
Cool to be recognized
But
as a superintendent, though. When I first read it, I thought it had something to do with something else you were doing in your life. So it is really cool to see that they're focusing on this kind of stuff.
yeah, I think, that's maybe why, I don't know why, what the exact criteria was, but, they obviously looked at it and felt like it was unique in a way, and which it is. I mean, what we do is, I mean, there's only like 16,000 golf courses in the US, and, there's not, you think of all the other careers out there and what you can go to school to study for. It's a small group, really, to shed such a big light on something like that. It's pretty cool.
Did you ever find out who submitted the nomination?
Yeah, no, my wife did it. Yeah, I know.
No, did she really?
Wow,
yes,
there you go.
Yeah,
Nice.
Everybody's like, oh, I wouldn't admit to that. And I'm like, why? She told me she was doing it, and I was like, I literally like kind of laughed at it, and like, yeah, okay, like, yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, what a supportive wife.
Yeah, no, I thought she was like just kind of nuts for doing it, like whatever, like, how many people, I can't remember, they said how many submissions they get and whatever, but literally that she did that, and then I had one email and it was like 5 generic questions, like nothing crazy, and I filled it out and that was it, and that didn't hear a thing. So I really had just no idea that I was even being considered, really. I mean, I figured the poll was just, I mean, you got literally Olympic athletes in there, and then me, like, I never would have thought that would happen or expect it. So but yeah, it was cool.
Who are some of the other names in that edition with you? Do you remember?
I think Blake Griffin was on that one. Giannis. Man, I feel like I should know. That's kind of embarrassing.
It's okay. We'll give you a pass.
Yeah.
You've been busy. So you guys had what was it, the women's AM last year, right?
Yeah. U.S. Women's AM was last summer. Yep.
You guys have some other stuff coming up and more things on the horizon?
Curtis Cup 2026. So that's, on the horizon. They just finished up this year's Curtis Cup in Sunningdale. So, we're the next host site for that, which we're looking forward to. The women's AM last year was great. It was a big golf year in LA. The Open was right up the street a couple months before. So, I mean, we're 2 miles up, a couple miles up the road. So a couple
2
miles
miles
apart.
and 45 minutes.
Yeah. And you probably did it a handful of times, but yeah.
Yes.
No, being able to, both USGA events right up the road from each other, 2 months apart was cool. So that was, it was fun year here in LA for sure for the golf scene. But the AM was great. Everybody, we put on a good show, especially getting through that construction project that really provided some logistical challenges to hosting a championship like that for, it's really like, you could call it a 10-day event, really, right? So just that was nuts. Not having a clubhouse and getting through a championship like that, but we did, and golf was great, and that's really what it's all about at the end of the day, So another little blessing there is just like, even without a clubhouse or having somewhere where all your carts are stored. I mean, simple things, taking deliveries and stuff. It once the event's going on, right, really, it's all that matters is the golf. So the players really enjoyed themselves. They were still able to put on a good event for them. That was cool. Yeah. No, so we're prepping for the 26 Curtis Cup and the 2030 Mid-Am. So both on the horizon for us. Yeah.
Right on.
How much do you enjoy hosting those big events?
It's fun. It's definitely a lot of extra work, right? I mean, the early days, late nights, and, it's every day, especially the, leading up to all the prep that goes into it before it even starts. But it's fun. It changes it up, right? It's a break kind of to the every week, every day, every year schedule. It's great to be able to put on an event that's nationally televised, and you get to some great exposure, and you get to showcase your property. I mean, look, everything we do every day is for, golfers to enjoy, membership to enjoy. And, at a private club, when you get to open it up a little bit and let the outside world see, usually what everybody doesn't get to it, it's cool. It's fun. It's nice to just break up the normal, schedule of things and just mix it up.
Yeah, it's always exciting. Me and Brian have been a part of a few of them. Well, Brian's been a part of a lot more than I have, but
Yeah.
it's something we talk to a lot of people about. One of my good buddies, Bobby Cook, we were chatting about you the other day. It
Uh,
sounds like you guys spent a
uh,
lot of time together. I was like, give me some dirt. Let me know, like, what have you guys gone through? And he said he's a great guy. He said we worked a lot together. We've had a lot of great times. He says he worked hard and he's obviously, at a good course and everything. So I was trying to get some dirt from him, but he wasn't giving me anything.
Nothing. Oh, that's good.
So, but I'd love to hear some memories. If you have any Bobby memories working with him, I know you guys worked at Riviera together and LACC. So if there's anything from those tourneys.
that was my first time out here when me and Bobby worked together at Riv for now it's the Genesis. I can't remember what it was then. But that's actually what got me to move out here was that Genesis with him at Riv. It was, I don't know, 75, 80 degrees sunny in February. And, I went back to Philly and, it was like getting off the plane, 35 degrees or 40 degrees or something.
What are we doing here?
There. Well, actually what I was doing was I tell a lot of the younger guys this story. I got back and, we're digging in frozen ground, like transplanting a hedge. And I was just left shorts and, polo sitting on the 18 hillside at Riv watching the Sunday finish with Bobby. Like, I was like, man, what am I doing? Like, I could be out there doing that or over here, in the Carhartt bibs, trying to dig through frozen ground and, chains snapping off the hedge and, just everything's harder when it's frozen and cold.
Oh, yeah.
And, I was like, all right, I think God's telling me which way I want to go. I was on the fence, like, do I make the move? But, and that one really kind of was like, all right, I'm going to give this West Coast thing a shot. So that was the jump when I decided to make the jump out West.
You ever see yourself leaving the area?
No, I really enjoy it out here. I mean, it would be hard to imagine myself doing that. I got young kids out here now getting pretty settled in and, really got a good thing going here. Membership's super supportive. Being at a great club with support and having a good team really, makes it hard to leave. Like I said, we got 70 and sunny pretty much all year round out here and working outside like we do. I don't think there's anywhere better to be doing it. And, just as good of a club. I mean, the really good membership here. We're really a golf club about what we're all about. Everybody that joins here because they want to play golf. We don't offer a whole lot else here from the social side or, there's like a couple tennis courts. That's it. There's no pool. There's, not a lot of the country club type stuff. It's really about playing golf. So, from our side, superintendent side, right, we're all about the golf course. So it's just, it's a good thing here and it's very supportive and, it's we can always keep raising the bar. There's always new stuff to work towards and working on and so yeah, hard to ever imagine giving that up or leaving that. So it's really what you'd look for, right? When you're trying to find the move. So yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. We got to ask you about the Navy SEALs visiting the golf course.
Oh,
sounds kind of crazy.
I really just had a guy stop me this morning, said he saw a bunch of videos, social media, some helicopters flying under the bridge and stuff. And I was like, oh yeah. So the member, right, he didn't even know. He's like, he couldn't believe it. No, we do a big fundraiser here the past couple of years, and it's for the Navy SEALs Foundation. They raise a good bit of money, and part of it, they put a little show on with it, and they'll bring helicopters in, and a bunch of these team guys will come up and they'll get all geared up, ready to go, and they all load up on the helicopters and then do a little show up around the clubhouse. Last year it was like down on our 18th hole, but they jump out full gear, ready to go. I mean, it's, that one guy just like went up above the clubhouse and then dove down on the bridge, which was pretty impressive to see.
It's a tight space.
Very, if you can imagine. Yeah. So, there's smoke bombs going off and it's really cool. Everybody gets pretty into it and it's a cool thing to support. And, that was Thursday afternoon, finishing work, right? We're out there on the second fairway landing helicopters, and getting all these team guys in. And so it was cool, but it was fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You mentioned the cultural fit and, kind of the culture of the club. Was that part of your interview process and you interviewing them as much as them interviewing you to make sure it was the right fit personality wise?
I don't think so. I pretty much came into this job really wanting it, right? Once I knew the opportunity was here, I was pretty excited. And somebody told me a while ago, if you're not willing to take the job, then you shouldn't interview for it, right? You're not really going to be all in if that's not how you're going into the interview process, right? You're not going to sell yourself or give it 100% if you're not, that's not your starting point. So definitely, I mean, on my way over here, I want to do everything I could to make sure I was top candidate and get the job offer, and luckily I did. So it all worked out. But I knew it was a great club. Obviously, just being up the road for 5 years before that, I knew I had a lot of connections and knew people over here, and so I felt like I had a pretty good feeling about what I was looking at and what I'd be signing on for. And there's never any guarantees, or you want to give it your best foot forward, and it worked out. So
Yeah, definitely seems like it's working out for you, man. And you mentioned two young kids or three young kids?
yeah, I got two young kids, 3-year-old and a 10-month-old. Yeah, two boys.
Oh, wow. That's exciting.
Yeah.
So how do you find time to sort of share between, your family and the golf course and your turf staff? Because it's a big gig. You got a lot of people working for you and a lot of
Yep.
expectations.
It's definitely a tough part of the job is finding the balance there. I a handful of times on the weekends I'll be out here with the older ones, so it's really cool to be at a job work where you can bring your kid to work with you sometimes. He loves it. As soon as he hits legal working age in California, he'll be here even more. But
Yeah.
but no, that kind of comes back to, or touched on it earlier, being able to delegate and rely on people. I really try to rely on my assistants and, the managers here, equipment manager, as much as I can, really try to empower them as much as I can. And doing that, should give me a little freedom to, whether it's coming in late or leaving early, or, try to find the balance there. But, more often than not, it's a 6-7 day a week job. And, I think the only way to do it is just have good people you can rely on, so trying to teach them as much as I can and make them more valuable and a key part of the team, and empowering them to make decisions and be comfortable doing it. And, just try to support them as much as I can.
Turf Today is also brought to you by Apex 10 by Green Nature. And did you know that lots of different golf courses in the world use Apex 10? Why don't we take the Country Club at Mirasol, for example? They're home to two 18-hole courses with TIFF Eagle greens and Celebration fairways. Apex 10 is applied to both courses and improved plant performance, the ability to withstand stress, increased microbial populations, and making up 75 pounds of nitrogen available per acre. You guys got to check this out. greennature.life.
I know one of those people recently left. I know Lauren just recently took another job. I mean, how do you go about training and preparing your assistants in order to become great future superintendents?
The way I look at it is like, I want them to look at everything like I do. Like, their set of eyes is like my set of eyes. So trying to just over communicate like everything that, I'm seeing and looking for, and helping create, weekly objectives, monthly objectives, and, always reevaluating the priority list. I guess it's like in one approach, very hands-on, but the next, you try to like take a step back and let them run with it. So you just keep feeding off that energy and, what I'm looking for, and, what the expectations are each day. And, that changes every day, right? I mean, the expectations on December 2nd is different than June 2nd. So just teaching that, explaining that, and pointing out those things, and helping reprioritize and show them the importance of, my weekly objectives or monthly objectives, and also letting them be a part of it. Right. And then, bring that to the table and just creating that team environment, letting them work with it. And it just starts to become kind of like a wholesome thing. And they're invested in it as equally as much as I am. Now, it was great to see Lauren move on earlier this year. She got a good job up in Santa Barbara. she's been doing really well, but I think just creating that environment and culture and vibe, and letting those people step up and learn, and be able to, kind of prove themselves, giving them a little rope, giving them responsibility, and, empowering them to do that, be able to do that.
It sounds like a lot of fun. Sounds like a fun place to work, and the fact that you have confidence in people and people can make mistakes and learn, like that's what you want, right? You talked about having different interns that come in throughout the
Yep.
year. So what are you looking for? What are some of the characteristics in some of these young folks, or just people basically coming into the industry, looking for a job?
So yeah, we do 4 guys in the winter, 4 guys in the summer, and it's kind of a shift in the group, right? Usually guys on their summer internships are in college still, right? They're at universities, they get their summer internships in between semesters. In the winter, we'll do seasonal guys that come from portions of Midwest, Northeast, kind of come from all over, Chicago, Philly, Ohio. And really, I'm looking for people just with a good attitude, really. Experience isn't something I prioritize. If somebody's either 1 year or a couple years in, I feel like it's our job as managers to teach and build. If everybody did everything exactly how you wanted, then you wouldn't need managers. Nice little quote somebody said to me, and I felt like kind of put it perfectly. But no, I look for guys that just want to be here, that they're excited about it. They're invested, they're interested, they want to learn, and then we take it from there. So really, any level of experience, I'm willing to bring somebody on and work with them. I think it's actually a benefit too, to having like a mix there, especially when you have a big program. Yeah, work ethic's hard to teach, right? But if you can just get good people that are interested, and then you got a good group that, once again, you get 4 guys that are all interested, young, and having fun with it, enjoying it. The whole group learns and gets better. And I can't tell you how many days there's all 4 guys are sitting here in a couch in my office at the end of the day, just asking me questions, going over stuff, and it's it makes it fun for them. They're all learning, at any part of it.
How challenging is it to get guys out there?
It's not too bad. We've got on-site housing that, I mean, if we didn't have that, I'm sure it'd be extremely difficult. Being able to supply housing in the middle of LA goes a long way. But no, we do a good job of attracting quite a few applicants. I'm trying to work through the list right now, doing interviews for next summer. And I've been really impressed the past couple of years, how many people we've had interested. And, I think a lot of that has to do with having a history of a good program. I really try to make sure that everybody leaves here better than they got here. I tell everybody that. I try to stick to that. So no matter what stage they come in here at, kind of try to identify a couple things that they think are important to them, that they want to experience or learn, something they haven't done before, just something they feel like they need to build on. And then also, our part of where we think they need to improve and try to build on it. And just really want everybody to leave here having a good experience and being able to continue on with their career. It's such a huge part of it. There's not too many industries where it's good to bounce around from job to job, right? Or go work for 4 different guys in 4 years, or 4 different clubs. And, but in ours, it really is a lot about exposure, and, letting these guys get to experience as much as they can, and, build their own path.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't come back out for the Penn State career day out here. I thought you'd be out here getting some interns, man.
I got a nice pick, actually. There was like 6 guys, all Bel Air alumni guys that were there, which was cool.
Okay.
Did make me a little jealous. I wasn't there. I wish I could have gotten back. We had like one of our busiest weeks ever last week at the club, so I was just like, remember a couple big parties, and it was just too much going on. But yeah,
I get it. I'll flip it up. I want you to tell us about the shoe collection.
Wow, you got that one. So it started with the big one over there. I don't know if you can guess who wears a size 24 or 25.
Jack.
There you go, Shaq. Yeah,
Nice.
I was at this wife had a work event, and there was like floor seats of the Lakers, and like autographed guitars, and I mean it was just everything was thousands of dollars, whatever. And then there's a Shaq shoe like in the corner that like I don't think anybody even saw. And I went over, I put, it was like literally like $100, $150 or something. Nobody had bid on it. It was like the only thing that was even, remotely affordable. And a couple of weeks later, they hit me up. They're like, "Hey, we got bad news, good news. Bad news, you didn't win, but good news, we already gave the guy who won his shoe, and we didn't realize we had 2 shoes." So they were like,
Nice.
I guess they had been packaged separately, and they already gave it away, and they, were running through and found this other signed Shaq shoe there, game worn signed Shaq shoe, and they were like, "Do you want it?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." I mean, so I wasn't the highest bidder, but I did get the Shaq shoe.
Nice. Did they still take your money though? Did they take your bid?
Yeah.
Okay.
They took my bid. I mean,
it wasn't a thanks for bidding here. Here's
no, it was for a good cause. So you're right.
Still
had to contribute.
That's good.
The other 2 are just Allen Iverson, right? Grew up AI in his prime. I was a big AI fan.
The answer.
Yep. And then the other one, I don't know if you can see, that's Dr. J, which is pretty cool. So the old Converse.
Nice. Has he played out there at all? I used to see him at Socket all the time. He used to come out and play.
Not to my knowledge, no. Not that I've seen. But
okay.
So any big names that kind of caught you off guard out there?
I'm not really supposed to say.
Fair enough.
Hate to say that, but
that kind of place.
That kind of place. Probably wouldn't be too fond of me on a podcast throwing names around. So
hey, fair enough.
You're not allowed to tell those stories, and you're also not allowed to give away. TRW's already laid the law down. I'm not allowed to give away the dinner spot or anything like that. So we can't have any of that conversation.
All right.
He doesn't want to say away any secrets.
That's a quiet spot. It's supposed to stay that way. So
that's right.
I just had a fun one. I was going to ask, like, my only experience with Bel Air would be my childhood. One of my favorite childhood shows was The Fresh Prince of Bel Air. And there's actually a golf episode where they go golfing. Does that have anything to do with the country club?
No, they, I don't know. I think they filmed, this has come up before. Like, where do they film all the, the golf scenes out there, right? Like so many things get filmed out here. And, but no, nothing was out of Bel Air. I can tell you that.
Okay. Usually it's probably just at a Muni or somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere down the road.
So I've done it with some other stories, especially last year when I was out there, but you've got a special bond within the industry with your stepfather. Talk about his influence on your career.
Well, a lot of people don't make the connection right away because the different last names, which is funny. That's actually that you just brought up a story that comes to mind because of that.
There we go.
I can't wait to get some stories about you from him later tonight.
You have to ask him if he remembers this one. I was at the Women's Open, and there was a huge storm came rolling through. I mean, trees were down, restrooms were flipped over, and they were unsure about us going back out or if play was going to finish. It was in between shifts. It was during the day, and everybody was prepped and ready to go back out. We weren't sure exactly what we'd be able to do and if they were going to let play finish and then hold off. So there was a lot of confusion, a lot of trying to figure out what to do. And we did get sent out, a little confusing about front nine, back nine, and what holes to avoid. And somebody, we were just picking up sticks to start. And this guy next to me, I couldn't tell you his name, didn't know him, but he was there volunteering. He was working. And he just starts going off about, USGA agronomists and Darren specifically. And I'm just kind of like jaw dropped. This was years ago. I was pretty young at the time. And, had some choice words for Darren of what he thought of him. And, I looked at him and I said, hey, somebody taught me this early on in my career. And it's probably good for you to learn too, but it's a very small industry and a very small group. But that guy you're talking about is actually my stepfather. And he just like jaw dropped, looked at me and goes, don't hit me, don't punch me. I'm like, what? Like that even caught me off guard because I was more like thrown off that the guy was doing this and then turned it into that. And then he disappeared. He didn't come the rest of the week. That was it. So
No way.
yeah, he was done. Never found out who he was. I'm not sure if he's still in this or not, but
Wow.
good learning experience for him,
Yeah.
wherever he ended up. But yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, tell us, again,
yeah.
kind of going back to tell us about his influence on you.
Well, I mean, he really is the one who got me into this. It started as a high school job. When he kind of came into my life and he got me a job at Hartfeld National just as like a summer job to try out, and I just kind of fell in love with it. And I, stuck with it ever since. But he, pretty early on, he got me into it and was like, hey, here's if you want to start here, a couple good superintendents to go work for, and he definitely had a involvement, but not like super hands on as to hey, you should go here, or hey, want to go work at this club, or he really let me figure out my own path. But definitely, it was always cool to be able to go to him and say, hey, I'm seeing this, or what do you think of this, or why do you do this? And I mean, I probably had a million of those questions early on, like, why do we have to do this way? Or why can't we do this the easier way or whatever? So, but no, it's been really cool to be in the same industry as him over the years. And, there's a good bit of that in our industry, right? I mean, a lot of people get into this because of a family member. I mean, you right? Look,
Yeah. Yep.
you could speak on it. And then fast forward a couple of years, we end up out here and, we got to work. I mean, I volunteered at obviously the Women's Open. We did it with him. But I've been at a handful of tournaments just volunteering with him. And then what was really cool at LA during the 2017 Walker Cup, at the time I was a North Course superintendent. And he was also he went from being a regional agronomist to the championship agronomist, and then being able to work the same event, kind of in our own career paths, in the same industry, and end up, the 2 o'clock meeting, right, where everybody sits down and meets, and the both of us are sitting there at the table, right? It's that was really cool. To him kind of be doing his thing and me doing mine, and then on opposite coasts, and then 10 years later, basically end up in the same room in Los Angeles, right, at the Walker Cup, was just really cool to be a part of that. I really enjoyed it. I know he was, proud to, have such an impact early on to getting into this career. And then, to end up at that point was just kind of like, special, right? I mean, just never would have expected our paths would cross like that down the road. So
that's awesome. Would you guys work, 2 events together then?
Yeah, Walker Cup, and then he, jumped on doing the Women's Am last summer, obviously. So
yeah,
that was we had fun with that one as well.
You guys get into any heated debates at all during some of those meetings or anything?
No, what's funny is we actually like see eye to eye on like a lot of stuff. I mean, like really with watering or rolling or mowing or whatever practices I want to do, or if there's something they wanted to see done, I was always on board with it. No, we've actually so far, right, we'll see. We got some future events possibly we might be working together, so but in the past that we've been on the same page with everything, so which has been cool, right? It's like even easier, just there's no arguing. It's been fun. So
yeah, I know I've seen you kind of traveling around, various events and supporting some of your friends and peers in the industry. How beneficial is it for you to go to these other events, other courses, and just spend some time with other superintendents? And, how has that kind of impacted you over the years?
I think it's a huge part of it. I said earlier, exposure, right? And going to work for different clubs and stuff. And, another way you can continue to do that later is, go to these championships or go to these events, or, go tour, a friend of yours project while they're under construction. I mean, there's just always so much to learn and see. I mean, the bar is constantly being raised. There's constantly new equipment out there and new ways of doing things, and just being able to, go see this stuff and bounce ideas and hear what other people are doing in different parts of the country, and, different grasses. There's always something to pick up. I mean, just every time I feel like I get on a new property, and especially when you're with, superintendent buddies where you guys can, talk about whatever you're dealing with that summer, that year, or, challenges you've had. And, then you end up, making good connections. And then you got, you're moving young turf guys around, working with each other. And, it's really like a big part of it. It makes work fun too at the same time, right? You're like, I mean, you're with your buddies and you're technically working, but you're also like not. I mean, that's once again something that not a lot of people can do in their careers where, work is, with your buddies, right? I mean, it's just so it's like almost not work at, a lot of times.
We do really have that special bond, which is really cool, and it's kind of something that's just for us, right? The other
Yeah.
special bond we got to talk about before we let you go is between man and turf dog. Tell us a little bit about Penny.
Penny has become quite the turf dog here. She is very popular at the club. I mean, more often than not, people are driving by me and Penny, and it's, "Hey, Penny,"
Hey guys.
or Penny's, everybody's running up and giving her some, nice pets and, playing with her. There's a handful of people here that, they come here and grab their coffee and they throw a couple pieces of bacon in their golf bag and then they're out because they know at some point Penny will find them. But no, she's been coming here with me since the day I got her. And, she had a little blow up on social media for a little while. A couple people helped, get her some social exposure, and she kind of blew up a little bit. And then, a lot of people got a kick out of it. And, she's become quite the turf dog, but she is very well liked around here. She's very much a part of the club. She'll hang out in the golf shop, and too often than not, I got to go grab her from somebody that decided to bring her into the girl room, or, she'll be sitting there having breakfast or something. So, she'll hop up on the bar stool behind the desk in the pro shop and just sit there with the guys, and, everybody walks in, and she's very well behaved, and she'll just be sitting there hanging out. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's a little part of the place.
Yeah, she's more than a turf dog. She goes everywhere with you, right? I mean, she never leaves your side.
Yeah, I mean, I bring her pretty much everywhere. It's LA is very dog friendly. It's funny. I don't know that everywhere in the country is like that, but I mean, out here, people are pretty welcoming at restaurants and wherever you're at. Golden Doodle, and there's no dog hair, right? So it's easy to bring her around, and she's pretty friendly with everybody. Loves people. I mean, I've brought her to a dog park, and she like has zero interest. Like,
I'm here for the people.
Literally, she wants to just go, say hi to everybody working at the dog park, not anybody who's actually there. Or the dog, sorry. But yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, I guess last question, what advice would you have for young people trying to find their way into this industry?
I really try to tell a lot of the young guys coming through now, one, expose yourself to as much as you can, build relationships, volunteer tournaments, don't be afraid to put in the hard work. I think, there's a good balance of work-life balance, but also, being committed to your work and putting, the amount in to, maybe get what you expect, or if you want to reach a certain level, it does take a lot of work. It is a 6-7 day a week job. And there's definitely a balance to that, but don't be afraid to give it your all. I mean, I always quote The Rock. He always says, be the hardest working one in the room. And, there's always somebody out there who's willing to do that. So if you really want to compete and, expose yourself and, be successful in the industry, you got to do that to some effect. So, I really try to push guys to, learn as much as you can. I mean, you can do it and, make it fun. Like we were saying, I mean, you're,
Yep.
popping around, going to courses, going to tournaments. Like, yeah, you're getting up at 4:30 in the morning, but if you're doing it with your buddies, who cares? Right. I mean, you're working 9 days in a row, but you're with your buddies, who cares? Right. I mean, you can still have a beer and talk about it, enjoy it at the end of the day, and get up and do it again. So, there's a fun side to it. And that's part of it. It doesn't have to be just, grind work, but I think you can do that, enjoy it, and still, be successful and make a run for it.
Very well
No?
said. We do have a lot of younger people that listen to the show, so any advice that we have from superintendents and people that have kind of worked their way up like yourself, it always helps. So from us to you, man, we really appreciate you coming on today, and hope that you guys have a good winter. And I don't know, are we going to get to see you in San Diego?
Yeah, for sure. I'll definitely be down there. It's really too close not to
Yeah,
attend.
that's the
So,
close one for you.
but yeah, I'll definitely be down there. Be good to see you guys. But no,
Awesome.
thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it. Glad we get to do this and enjoyed
Yeah.
it.
Thanks for
Great
coming
talking
on,
to you
man.
guys.
Yeah, look forward to seeing you hopefully sometime soon. Hopefully sometime before San Diego.
Where are you heading after this?
I have no idea, man. I don't know.
You
I
going back
mean,
home? Are you going back home?
I'll go home for I'm going home Thursday. I'll be home till Sunday. Then I'm going back down to Texas. Rich and I are going to be crossing paths. He's coming up here for Muirfield Day, and I'm going to be in
I'm,
Dallas.
I'm flying in Sunday. That's why I was asking. So,
Oh,
Oh
damn
man.
it. Yeah, no, I got kids lacrosse Sunday morning, and then I leave for Dallas Sunday afternoon. So yeah, I'm bummed. It's my first time in like 5 years. I'm not going to be able to make that day. So
I'll be crossing paths with you. I think I land at like 2:30 on Sunday. So,
oh, yeah, I'll probably see you in the airport then. So
all right. All right. So
bummer,
maybe,
bummer.
all
Well, I'll
right.
get out to LA, see you out there,
Awesome.
and bother you out there. So
Sounds good. You're welcome anytime.
awesome. Appreciate it, man. Great to see
All
you.
right. Good to have you
Yeah,
guys.
thanks
Thank
a
you.
lot,
All
Justin.
right.
This was
Take
great.
care, Justin. We'll see you, man. Justin's a great guy. Got some great experience. Very professional, very polished, obviously, and just I kind of had a feeling he wouldn't be able to tell too many stories about celebrities and all
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. I mean, it's
it's understandable.
yeah, it's one of those places where it's they try to be low key and let that be their haven to kind of get away from everything. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, I mean, he's had some very famous Greens chairman. He's got some very famous neighbors there. The dog has just wandered into some very famous people's houses right there, and they're always welcoming of Penny coming into the house and stuff. So it's like, yeah, it's a very cool, unique spot that he has there in Bel Air, and he's definitely found a good fit for him.
The culture that he's built at that shop and at that golf course, like that's the kind of guy you want to go work for. You're
Yeah,
gonna have, put in that many hours, work hard, support your staff. Like that's awesome. We need to hear more about that. We need to hear more about
yeah,
people creating that culture and having that kind of that fun on the
yeah.
golf course.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a lot of fun. It's a cool place. I've been out there, been lucky enough to go out there a couple times and hang around with Justin and the team. And it is. It's a fun vibe. Justin is very involved, I guess politically at the club, for lack of a better term. Like he was talking about all the different projects and all these things that he's a part of out there. And so he really does. He's had to build that staff and trust the staff a lot to handle a lot of the day to day because, like most directors, they're pulled in so many different directions. You've got to be able to rely on your people to implement the vision for the property, and they do it, and they have a lot of fun doing it too.
Yeah, no, it sounds like he's got a lot going on because he is the
Yep.
director of the golf course and the grounds, right? So these, whether it's fountains or cart paths
Yeah,
or
right,
greens,
right.
he's taking care of everything.
That's right. Everything but the golf itself, right? So
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's a big task. It's a big task. So and the clubhouse they built is just unbelievable. You have to Google it and check out their clubhouse.
Yeah.
It's
When somebody says
phenomenal.
something's open and running, but not going to be completed for 2 more years, like that's going to be a nice place. You can't
Well,
just
and
half-ass that.
they've been working on it, I think, for at least 3 years.
Oh
I
my
mean,
goodness. Wow.
yeah, that's when he was talking about having the women's am out there without a clubhouse. I mean, they built a temporary clubhouse up there for all that. I mean, it was literally just tents, very, very nice
Hmm.
tents.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they went a couple of years without a clubhouse and hosting major USGA events. The women's am's a very high
Hmm.
profile event. And yeah, tackling all that without a clubhouse. Pretty unique.
That's wild.
Yeah.
He's definitely
Yeah.
done well for himself, and all of
Yeah.
that, all those hard things, all that difficulty, it pays off, right? So he's come through, and
Yeah.
now he's got all the experience, and it's always nice learning the property. It always takes a few years, right? But then you learn the
Yeah.
property, you know where everything is, you know how to work everything properly. Like I think he's in a really good spot there. I'm happy for him.
Yep. Yeah, he is. And he's earned it too. I think that's, maybe one of those misconceptions that some people have about people at some of these jobs, obviously with the family ties there and, his stepfather being championship agronomist for the USGA, think it was just kind of handed to him. But no, man, he's worked his butt off and he's earned every single thing that he's got in this industry because the guy he's a sharp guy. He knows what he's doing, and you can tell just the way that he runs his team and talks about his team too, right? I mean, it's he's done a wonderful job moving his way on up. All right, man.
Okay, buddy.
We'll stay in touch.
Yeah. Enjoy the
All
rest of your trip and then the turnaround on the weekend.
Yeah, thanks, man. Get well.
A huge thank you to Toro, as always, for everything that those guys do for us. The grass is still growing, so it feels real sharp. Say bye, Will.
Bye.